library. I saw that it had in there only pick up in the library, like you can't place holds on it. It has Silver Elite by Danny Francis, and this book is so hot right now, so I'm gonna go in there and pray that no one came in the 14 minutes that it's been open, and see if I can grab that and maybe 2 other books. So come on with me. I am so excited. I felt a little weird recording when I was in there because I was the only person and there was like 6 workers, so, but I got it. I got Silver Elite. Now, I am so impressed because this book is so hot right now, and I did not think, there is no library in like the immediate vicinity that I could even place a hold on this. I think I was number 46, and listen, mama, I'll buy it before I have to wait till 46. But I am so happy that I finally get to read this. My name is Wren Darlington. I've been hiding who I am my entire life. Today will be no different. Okay. So, I can't wait to read. I'm going to read this one next. Silver Elite. Forget every other thing that I got. And then I want to make this like a whole video. So I also got Head Cases by John McMahon. I've heard really good things about this too. A masterfully done game of cat and mouse with an unforgettable cast of characters. And I think this is going to be great. Is this like large print? It's not, but like the text in here is like kind of big. So this one's going to go by fast. And the last book that I ended up picking up that I saw there that was part of this, like you only can rent it out if you come into the library, you can't place a hold on it, is The River Has Roots by Amal El Matar. And I'm doing this because I'm covering up the library barcode, which, I mean, I'm not that interesting to want to come and like stalk me, but you know, you never know. This one is really, it's relatively short. Oh my god, this one has like one of those in the back, but you can't take the library card out. So I don't know if this is just like for show or not. Flipping through, there are some really great illustrations, and this was one reason why I wanted to pick this book up. I heard that you can read it like in one sitting, and the illustrations on the page make you just want to keep turning the page because there always seems like there's something new. And this is kind of the quick description. Oh, what is stronger than a death? 2 sisters singing with one breath. I can't wait to pick this one up. I am definitely going to read Silver Elite. And this is the like sprayed edge edition. It's like silver sprayed edges. I just feel like I hit the jackpot. I mean, God, I'm so easy to please sometimes. I wish it was a little bit more difficult. Well, yeah, I am going to head home with my little library haul, and I will be back to update when I start reading them. Update because I am on chapter 39 of Silver Elite, and this book is really good. I know there's so much hype around this book right now, saying that it's being compared to like the Hunger Games or Divergent, and listen, I have not read either of those series, so I'm going into this completely blind, and this book is so good. It's so fast-paced with like missions and schools and trying to get an elite squad and telepathy and lies, deceit, a hot AF commander. Like, It's so good. This is enemies to lovers in like a completely different way where you really don't know how this story is going to turn out. And this is the first book in a series, so I don't think we're even going to touch the surface of these two characters' relationship, which is Ren and Cross. It just seems like this story is so messy and it needs to be like compacted so much more. I don't know. It's absolutely crazy. The only kind of issue I have is like the enemies to lovers, they're really not, I guess, like working together. They don't seem like they are a couple, I guess. Usually with most, and this is like sci-fi, so it's not like romantasy, but mostly with those genre books, the two people that you know are going to get together, they kind of start off with the flame a little bit early, and it's back and forth, love you, hate you, love you, hate you. This book, it's really not like that, and I wish the author did just a little bit more to sell you on this relationship when you first start the book, because it really just seems like it is Ren trying to get vengeance for a family member and going through the motions and the steps of joining the Silver Elite. And that's great and all, but as an enemies to lovers girly, I just wish they definitely have the enemies hooked, but the lovers part, I just wish there was a little bit more. I'm currently on, like I said, chapter 39, which is page 367. So I'm definitely going to finish this book today. And it is really, really good. I am pleasantly surprised. I obviously picked this book up because this is all over social media. No one knows who Danny Francis is. Everyone's trying to figure out who this author is. And other authors are getting extremely mad for like doxing and let everyone have their privacy. Listen, I get author side, I get reader side, but at the end of the day, the author can create an amazing book, but it's nothing without readers getting an interest in the book. And listen, Danny Francis knows what they're doing. It's a specific hype around this. There's no photos, there's no interviews. So let the readers just be our inquisitive, curious self and figure out who Danny Francis is without being weird. So yeah, I'm gonna keep reading this and I will be back to update when I have finished. I am back. I literally just woke up. I spent all night finishing The Silver Elite by Danny Francis. This book is so good. It is worth all of the hype. Oh my God, I loved this book so much. I ended up rating it 4.25 stars and I gave it 2 spice, but hear me out on the spice. There are a few spicy scenes, well, maybe like half a dozen spicy scenes, but they are not drawn out. They are maybe like a page or half a page. You definitely know what's happening, but it is not extremely descriptive and it is like over before, not over before it starts, but it is just, I almost wanted to rate this 1 for spicy, but I didn't because there are like half a dozen scenes that you know what's going on, but it's not really that cringy. Okay, this book is so good. Okay, focus. So this is book 1 of a trilogy. I don't know what the trilogy's name is. It just says it in the front cover. And even like Goodreads, let me just say I didn't like really go sleuthing for the answer to this, but Goodreads didn't have what series it's in, but it does say in the first book of a sizzling dystopian romance series. So one place is saying that it is a trilogy and one place is saying a series. I know technically a trilogy could be considered a series because there's 3 books in the series. So I don't know. Regardless, there's going to be more than 2 books in this series. And I don't really know what it's called. It's probably going to be called like Silver Elite or something like that. It literally kept you guessing from the beginning of the book all the way to the end. It was so high paced
and things were just always going on. There were people backstabbing, lies, friendships born, guilt from making friendships, because technically Ren isn't supposed to want to be friends with any of these people in the Silver Elite. But that's what happens when you have forced proximity with someone and you start to share a little bit of personal things. You start to develop feelings and friendship for people. So she's dealing with that, and it is just, there's so many plot twists. There's a plot twist towards the end where I was like, oh my God, I was super happy, but then I realized what was going on. I was kind of like, not really who I thought they were, I guess, if that makes any sense. And like I said, there's romance in this book, but it is definitely not in the forefront or what this book is based around. It's kind of like two characters leaning on each other and seeing if they can use each other for certain things. And then, like I just said, with forced proximity and relying on each other, feelings develop. And there's just I called out this plot twist to myself earlier in the beginning. Like, I knew what was going on. So some plot twists to me were predictable, but that's not to say bad. I love predictability. And then some were really like a surprise, and I was like, good going. It's not like anyone could predict that it was going to happen. It was just like came out of left field. And one thing I thoroughly enjoyed, there was no third act breakup. At least I don't think so. I don't even know technically if they were like really together. I think they were, but there was no breaking up for like any specific reason. Even when they had to go do missions and separate things by themselves, there was no talk of breaking up. They still kept, communication between each other, and they still said like, love you and things like that. So very odd that a like sci-fi romance, there's no third act breakup, because usually that is what keeps you, that's like the hook of the story. If it was just two people who loved each other to the end of the book, what would be like interesting in that? But that goes to show that the sci-fi part of this book is what hooks you. It's not necessarily the romance. So the romance not being forefront lets the author not have to deal with like a third act breakup, because the whole story isn't hinged on the romance. The ending definitely ends on a cliffhanger, 100%, but it reminds me of like the perfect cliffhanger to segue into a new book. Like, it seems like a whole new like part of the world is going to be discovered. It seemed like the perfect cliffhanger. It's not leaving me like biting my fingernails or thinking about it for 2 days after, like what the heck is going to happen. So if you love reading books about morally corrupt characters, sci-fi, telepathy, romance, no third act breakup, ends on a cliffhanger that is doable, and lots of twists and turns, then please pick this book up. It's hard for me to recommend a 500 plus page book without really jumping on my soapbox for this, but I thoroughly enjoyed it. The hype around this book, which by the time this video comes out, this book is probably going to be like old news, but the hype is so real, and definitely pick it up. And if you're watching this and you haven't even heard of it or decided to pick it up, then please do. The next book I'm going to pick up for this episode is The River Has Roots. And this one I have heard a lot about also, especially on a couple podcasts that I listen to. It's only 129 pages, so I feel that it's definitely easy to get through, even if the writing is a little bit denser or flowery and poetic, where sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to read because I can't like zoom through it if there's, not fancy words, but words put in sentences that are very much made for you to digest after you read instead of just fly through. The synopsis says, in the small town of Thistleford, on the edge of Fairy, the mysterious Hawthorne family tends the willow trees there. For as long as anyone can remember, the Hawthorns have paid tribute to the willow trees, honoring an ancient compact to sing to them in thanks for their magic. None, though, have taken up this calling more devotedly than the family's latest daughters, Esther and Isabel, who cherish each other as much as they cherish the trees. But when Esther rejects a forceful suitor in favor of a lover from the land of Faerie, not only the sisters bond, but also their lives will be at risk. So this seems like it could be kind of an interesting, like, there's a little bit of mystery to it. It's not just like poetic lyrical writing. It's going to have some type of plot, and it deals with kind of romance. So that's why I picked this up. All right, so I will be back to update when I finish The River Has Roots. I am back because I finished The River Has Roots, and this book was definitely not what I was expecting, but in a good way. Sorry if you can hear, I'm like literally right next to my window because it is so gloomy here in the Northeast, and my window's open because it's also like that weird weather where we don't want to put on the central AC, but yet it's too hot if you keep the windows closed. So sorry about that. And we live like in the middle of the woods, so it's like sound travels or something through the trees. I don't know. Okay, so I rated this book 3 stars with no spice. This is a novella. It's under 150 pages, and it was so beautifully written. The writing was so like whimsical and lyrical, and it's a type of book that you, I think, would need to read it 2 or 3 times to fully absorb what they're trying to say. It reminds me of reading like Shakespeare. It's not fancy words or like different grammar structure of a sentence. It's just a lot. And it's a lot for 133 pages, but it was also the right amount, if that makes sense. This was definitely about sisterly bonds, romance, figuring out themselves internally. There's magical elements, rivers, trees. It's just so earthly, and I don't even know like what the word is. You're just like captivated and thrown into like the environment that the author is beautifully writing to you. It also involved witches. It was just not what I was expecting, but the big takeaway is like defiant sisterly bonds. The Length sisters will go for each other, and there is romance in it, and it was very cleverly done, let's just say. So I would pick this book up if you love witches, short reads, books about family ties, like especially sisterly bonds, and it has the whimsical, flowery prose and books that make you think. The next book that I'm going to pick up is Head Cases by John McMahon, and this one is very interesting to me. I needed something that wasn't romance, that wasn't going to make me think, and kind of kept me on the edge of my seat. So this is about FBA agent Gardner Camden is an analytical genius with an affinity for puzzles. I love books that deal with puzzles. He also has a blind spot on the human side of investigations, a blindness that sometimes even includes people in his own life, like his beloved 7-year-old daughter Camilla. Gardner and his squad of brilliant yet quirky agents make up the Patterns and Recognitions Unit, the FBI's hidden edge brought in for cases that no one else can solve. I didn't know that there was a little girl in this book, so that I have a little daughter, so usually I don't like reading about things that could hit close to home. Smells good. That's how you know it's going to be a good book, when it smells good. So I will be back to update after I have finished this book. I have just finished Head Cases by John McMahon, and this book was so good. It was so good in the, oh my god, this book is terrifyingly scary. I could not read this at nighttime by myself, and something dropped in my room and I almost twisted my ankle trying to get out of my bed because I was all twisted in the sheets. I thought someone was coming after me. Okay, so I rated this 3.75 stars. There was no spice. I would say if you enjoy like FBI crime books, then definitely pick this up. It has to do a lot with like puzzles and riddles, and it is a special, sorry if you can hear the weed whacker in the background. It is a special organization within the FBI that handles like unsolved or cases that have gone cold, and they try and find patterns. It's called the PAR unit, Patterns and Recognition Unit. And all of these characters have hidden abilities that make them an asset to this team. Something funny that like the main character in this book, Gardner, he's very much, type A. He seems kind of like OCD a bit and socially awkward. He said over 200 bacteria thrive on each square inch of our palms. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't Google it because ew, but it happened in a scene where he was going to shake someone's hand. He did shake their hand, but that was just like his side commentary. The book is super gory. It's super scary. It is like nothing I've read. I've never read a book that kept me up in the middle of the night, or I thought I wasn't going to be able to sleep, or I gave myself so many jump scares. The plot was captivating. The bad guy was really believable and good. Oh, I loved Gardner's socially awkward self. I loved Cassie, who was his partner, who has her own quirks, and I love how they left it for book 2 to come out. What's really great and interesting when you read this is you don't know if you're rooting for the serial killer or not, because the serial killer is unaliving other serial killers. So it's like, yeah, you're not doing something good, you're a bad person, but you're also removing really bad people who everyone was led to believe they have already passed away. So it's very much like a rabbit trail, decoding things, working with other units. It was so captivating. I wasn't bored throughout any of it. I would highly recommend. Now for a quick recap of the 3 books I've read for this video. The first one, Silver Elite by Danny Francis. I rated that 4.25 stars with 2 spice. The River Has Roots. Oh, I forgot who that was by. Sorry. I rated that 3 stars with no spice. And then the last book I read, Head Cases by John McMahon. I rated this 3.75 stars and there was no spice. Thank you as always for watching my video, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.